Hey there again, guys. So just before we start this episode off, I want to get a few pointers out there and tell you what's been going on. So this episode's been delayed because a lot of things have been going on in my life and in Kane's life, so we've been trying to smooth everything out while getting on with this. I've purposely done this episode extra long to make up for the fact that the last one hadn't been out when I said it was, and I've been working on the Minecraft server and, things have got a bit hectic. If you want to know more about what's going on with the channel and the delays and whatnot, click on this video here. It will be somewhere on the screen. However, enjoy the rest of the video, and see you later, Bad Gamers. Episode of the Great British Bad Gamers. We're changing the episode's name, so they're no longer the caretakers, as we've taken away from that aspect. We're probably just going to call it Lore Let's Build, because we are, if you don't know, we're building a lore around a Minecraft world full of fantasy, adventure, anything you can imagine. So at the moment, we're picking up where we left off last, which is the Dwarven Kingdom, and this is the Dwarven main hall. This is a sphere shape that we've cut out into the biome. I think it was 60 by 60. Basically what we've done is we've put a pillar slap bang in the middle, filled it up with lava up to a reasonable amount, and we're building a donut. And now this is going to be the base. This is where all the furnaces are going to be. The king is going to sit on top of everyone, and these are his closest workmen. This is the real heart of the Dwarven Kingdom. This is where all those stereotypes actually matter. Everything that you see in fantasy is there, and to be honest, this is one of our bigger builds. So as you can see, I was messing around with the glass trying to get a dome-like shape. We were messing around with the donut, seeing what we could get, and we decided to just stick with the stone brick. The stone brick, as we've seen so far, is the main building property, and this isn't to try and get boring, but it is, in our opinion, the best looking thing to build with. So at the moment I'm going underneath, and we're trying to make this pillar look a little bit more natural. Instead of just having a pillar going straight up, we wanted to add some cremulations, add some borders to it, give it a little bit of depth. We build out these pillars, which are the spiral staircase frameworks, and the main point of the spiral staircase was to take people from the top down to the bottom where the peasants would work, and the peasants are higher up in the class system, so they are in fact royal smithers, market men, anything that you can think about will be working on that donut area. And this is really the main point of, I suppose it's a nest. It's a nest of all the things that the Dwarven Kingdom points to. And in the other server that you saw it on, we had the Dwarven Stronghold being built into the heart. And this is it. This is where everything comes together, and everybody really, the whole community just comes here and celebrates. This bit was slightly difficult because we didn't know what we wanted, and we were just messing around with things, especially with everything being so dark. We didn't know what kind of lighting we wanted. We were hoping that the lava would beam enough light around the area to actually help us, but it didn't really work like that. However, building with lighter blocks really does help. Therefore we added some quartz in the middle, which we spent a while negotiating it. We didn't really know if this was the right thing to do. Building the spiral staircase was something that we started off by hand, and we actually picked the best one, even though they're pretty much identical, and copy pasted them with World Edit. Now the reason we did that was because it was a lot easier, and we only really needed to show you guys this once. What we did want to show you was the inside, how we did the stairs, how we did everything like that, and what the point of it was, where would they lead and how chunky they really were. So as you can see, this is the Dwarven Stronghold up to this point. We've done the two pillars, and there's also the a pillar framework and another pillar just underneath. This bridge that you're looking at right now is the one which leads straight to the main gate. This one will be later on in the build, so this is something that we actually looked at and decided we wanted to stick with that, and we looked at designs, we tried many things, and overall it looks the best. So now we start building the actual staircase, and this is the temporary design stage. We messed around with iron, we messed around with stone brick, we tried doing nether brick, all those kind of things. We wanted to try and add something a little bit different to the Dwarven Stronghold. But after a few attempts we decided it wasn't the way that we wanted to go. And this is because the Dwarven Stronghold being mostly stone and having its ores around it and the glowstone all along the sides, and that kind of aura really didn't fit the iron side of it. We kind of thought about going the steampunk area, but that's slightly difficult in Minecraft, so we decided to avoid that. So now you can see me building up using World Edit to try and get the structure of the staircase back up. So this is us pretty much building the framework for where the smithers are going to be. We didn't really know how it was going to look, we didn't know if we needed furnaces or anything like that, so we were really messing around, and Kane was giving me a bit of advice on how it looks in MMOs conventionally and those kind of things. Kane came back to build this later on his own, mostly because I felt that he was doing the better job with it. So this is just a panning shot to try and show you how everything's looking. At this point we started building the underneath of the main bridge. We didn't know how to make this look, so we were just messing around, adding cremulations, making it thinner, messing around with it. We didn't know what we wanted. We looked at some references and it didn't actually give us any kind of guidance on what we wanted, and personally I think the way it looks at the moment is a bit too chunky. We'll possibly go back and make that thinner. Adding some cremulations down the side I think really helped it stand out, especially with the other ones having indentations. Now the indentations now are slightly different to the ones that you saw before. This time we've gone in one layer and then we've done the cremulations and the indentations, and we've tried to really add character. So this is the main gate. This is something that Kane really took pride on, and we actually ended up poking out the top of the mountain, so this is something that I had to go over with World Edit at the end and make it smoother, look normal, look more natural. But as far as we were concerned, we wanted to get the framework done, get the measurements right, and to be honest we didn't. We really messed it up, and Kane ended up rebuilding most of it. This is just me messing around with the gates. We didn't know how high it was going to be, we didn't know if it was going to reach the top, if it was going to curl in, if it, we didn't know how we were going to do that with the bricks, and we were just messing around trying to get this template right. At this point we debated whether to keep it as it was, not make it go higher, and force like a collapsed cave in, so it looks like the roof had been domed in by all the outside, but we decided against it in the end. So at this point I'm just messing around trying to get the roof right, trying to do if I'm doing one brick on the left, I'll do one brick on the side, that kind of thing. And I have to say, doing a dome roof is pretty difficult, and I know that there's instructions and stuff that you can do online, but I kind of wanted to do this myself and mess around. So now I'm filling in the wall, making it look a bit natural. It's okay to do World Edit in certain areas, but with stuff like this, sometimes you really do need to just manually go around, chip away at rocks, and just make it look as natural as you can. Now in the lore, this place has been overtaken, so we decided to break in the gate. This is the main entrance, and it isn't actually outside, so this is where we put the roof on top. So this is actually leading onto the Dwarven halls that you saw in the last episode. And what we did is we made this one look like it had been broken into, and later on we destroy the wall. So now we're back into the human village, and I know you guys saw this before, but we decided to reconstruct it from scratch. We really, looking back, we aren't happy with it. It's very plain, it's very boring, there isn't a castle which is grand enough. We were going to build one in the background, but then we decided, the rest of the village looks pretty dire. It's alright having NPCs and stuff, but if there isn't this medieval structure, if there isn't something bold, this is the human race, this is the people who took over and tried to claim most of the land. So I'm literally just building the structure of the wall. I don't know how this is going to go, and we actually ended up making this the gardens. So what you see right now isn't the framework of the castle, it's actually the framework of the gardens. And I only did one half of it at this point onwards because Kane was going to come around and do the rest of it while I worked on another project, which you'll see in a second. So now Kane decided that the gate that we'd built previously in the Dwarven Kingdom would look amazing as a tower inside the human kingdom. Well, not inside the human kingdom, but outside the human fortifications on the main castle. You have to remember, this isn't the castle yet. This is the gardens. This is the entrance. It needs to look grand. It needs to have 2 towers, 3 towers. It needs to be as good as it can. So Kane was messing around. We did a template. We copy and pasted it in the exact same spot, and we were just messing around trying to see what it would look like if everything was equal and, to be honest, looking quite respectable, ready for the next section. So next up I decided there needs to be a huge cliff at the back of the city. It needs to be done. Everywhere else has these hilly mountains, and having a huge wall at the back really helps structure the human village. You know, people can't attack from this side. If they climb up the side of the mountain, they're risking their own lives, let alone an army going up there. So by having this here, it really helps the human race fortificate themselves. We've got the walls coming off it. It's all very natural. I did this with the world edit tool, and I have to say a lot of this was just a mess around. We were using stone spheres mostly, and the smooth tool was actually proving to be quite a pain because you have to kind of work from top to bottom. So a lot of it was smoothed out, but we actually went ahead and manually broke a few sections, mainly to make it look like a natural cave system. And part of this that I wanted was waterfall to come out, a really grand waterfall to be coming out, not grand, but natural, a natural waterfall to be coming out and looking normal. So I went around hollowing out a big river kind of space in the middle of the city and using the smooth tool to even out the edges, and I kept going deeper and deeper, and then I was trying it with water, and I messed up a few times as I didn't really understand the fill tool, but came over to mock me and couldn't do it himself. Anyway, we decided to read the wiki and kind of get used to it, and it actually made a lot more sense. I kind of had to stay at the level that I wanted the water to be in. But at this point we decided, well, if there's going to be a river here, we don't want people walking over it. Well, we don't want people walking through it. So we used a bridge, which was made out of wood and planks, to kind of support it. This was Kane's idea, and I know I haven't shown you this, but there's a sneak peek at the wall right behind it. And that has the emblem, which is a blue sky with a tree, and the two flags on it. I didn't manage to capture the footage for this because the recorder I was using broke. So I'm sorry for that, but I do actually have footage of me showing you it, building a few extra bits on it, and hopefully I'll be able to record some extra footage of me doing the side walls instead of copy pasting, so I can show you how I did it, how I started, and that kind of thing. So now I'm trying to build the waterfall, and this was stupidly hard for what it was. It shouldn't have messed up this much, and I know it's probably just me, but it was that one trickle of water to the side that really put me off. And I digged into the side of the wall, I digged into the actual mountain a bit more, I thinned it out, and this is kind of how I got it. Looking back, I think I might change it again, but as it stands for now, I think it looks fine, and it might look really, really good with the texture pack, with shaders and stuff. So I'm going to give that a go if I can get it working with the latest patch of Minecraft. And I'm going to let you see the massive mistake that I make. So this is the city wall, and I know I didn't get the footage to build it in front of you, but this is me doing a few changes, messing around with it, trying to get everything else perfect. Now this is the entrance on the side towards the castle, which is actually vulnerable. So the townsfolk are obviously more important than the king in his opinion, or queen. We haven't decided who it's going to be. But they're obviously valued as more important. They are the core structure of this kingdom, and the king or queen is only one individual. So you can obviously tell that the relationship between the royal family and the peasants is quite good. The tower in the background is actually nothing, it was just Kane messing around with something, so don't get excited about that. But this was just me messing around with the walls. I really wanted to try the wooden beams, having glass on them, all that kind of stuff. So now I want to show you what it looks like from the inside. Now this is unfurnished, not done, kind of just a mess around really, and I thought it'd be nice to just show you how it looked on the inside, because the last castle we built on a server, it was our multiplayer server that we had up for a little while, but this is before the channel and stuff. Well, the server we had on that, we built a huge wall, but it didn't actually feel like a wall. Obviously one side of the castle wall isn't actually designed yet, so it's one half is designed, the other half isn't. So it looks like your bog standard wall. I mean, this is going to be pretty dark during normal time, during night time, so we're going to have windows and torches inside it. But as you can see, this towery bit just fills out and it looks airy. You can see over into the distance. You know, you can see what's going on. And the same for here as well. There's me and Kane just peeking out. So thank you for watching this episode. I'm sorry it's taken so long. It's really been hard to get this going and other projects, and it's partially down to my fault, partially down to Kane's fault. I'm going to say mostly my fault. But we're really looking to churn out the Minecraft stuff now. We really like and enjoy doing the builds. The builds is something that we enjoy the most, so we really want to stick with this. So I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you later, bad gamers.